Hey, this is Ken Finnan at Capital Advantage Tutoring, and it's my job to get you past the Series 7 and shit like that, right? So now I've done the Mathapalooza, and I haven't come up with a name. I think I'm going to call it Math Burning or Burning Math, like Burning Man, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to come up with a name, but I'll get there. I'm going to spend another, I don't know, it's like 300 fucking problems. So this could be like an hour, could be 4 hours. I have no idea. So what I'm going to do is going to go through the math again. It's different math now. It's going to be like PE ratio, POP, NAV, convertibles maybe. I'm not sure. You'll see a list. And we'll go through there and see how this works and try not to be bored. Remember, I'm a big fan of muscle memory. Do it over and over and over again until you can't get it wrong. We don't want to do it till you get it right. You want to do it till you can do it in your sleep. Like I joke around, I can take this test on Xanax and drunk and probably pass, right? Because it's like muscle memory. And that's what I got to get you guys at. So you got to get it where even if you're not good at math, you just, I see this, boom, I do that, I do this. Like just get it in there and feel it, okay? So let's get into it. Let's see how it goes, baby. Okay, so here's our first question. You can read it. Remember, just press pause, do yourself, and then try to see how you do with me. At some point, I'm going to get too tired to read it, so you'll have to deal with it. That's why you press pause. Right now, pause. A company stock is trading at $50 per share. The company's earnings per share is 5. What is the PE ratio? Now, remember, I'm going to do it once when we start each one. PE ratios, we're dumbasses, so it's easy. Price over earnings. So just do market price divided by earnings. So we're going to do, and if I get some wrong answers here, we'll just fix them in live time, real time. I'm going to do 50 divided by 5. Boom. Or PE ratio or multiple, another word for PE ratio is the multiple is 10. That's pretty low. It's a value company, okay? Usually in the 30s, you're hitting growth company. Let's go to the next one. A company stock is priced at 120 per share and the earnings per share is 10. What is the PE ratio? Easy, 120 divided by 10. There it is, 12 times earnings. The multiple 12. This is easy. We're going to do like 10 of these, and then we'll throw some curves at you. If a company's stock price is 80 and its earnings per share is 8, 80 divided by 8. This is easy shit. 80 divided by 8 gives us a whopping 10 bucks. There we go. Easy stuff. Not 10 bucks. Idiot Ken. 10 times earning, multiple of 10. See what happens? I already start, my ADD brain starts going off. I want you to be so bored, but finish it out. Please finish this shit out. Stock is trading at 90 per share. The earnings per share is 6. 90 divided by 6. 90 divided by 6. That's 15. We're getting a little higher. Not growth yet, but we're getting up there. A company has a stock price of 75 and an earnings per share of 3. What is your PE ratio? We're going to do 75 divided by 3. It's 25. We're getting closer and closer to growth. Now remember, earnings per share, if they make you figure it out, but they won't make you do both. Earnings per share is the earnings, and if they give you the preferred dividend, you subtract that, divided by the outstanding shares. Again, earnings per share is the earnings divided by number of outstanding shares. Super easy. So this was 25 PE ratio, letter B. The stock is priced at 45. Remember, get this done. Get it so it's so boring, it's easy. Stock is at 45. The earnings per share is $1.50, 1.5. Boom, 42. I did it wrong. See what happens when you don't pay attention? We're going to do 45 divided by 1.5. 1.5 is 30. 30 times earnings. That's your multiple of 30. Number 7. So that's low PE. 100. Stock is trading at 100. The earnings share is 25. 100 divided by 25 is $4. I keep doing that. 4 times earnings. It's multiple. Stop doing that, guys. It's 100 divided by 25 earnings per share. That gives me a $4 multiple. Very low. Very undervalued. A stock has a market price of 60 and an earnings per share of 4. So we do 60 divided by 4 equals 15. See how easy this is? 2 more easy ones. Stock price of a company I can't read is 55 and the earnings per share is 11. 55 divided by 11 is 5. PE of 5, very undervalued. And the last one, that's an easy one. Okay. Price of 200, earnings per share 20. What's the ratio? 200 divided by 20 is 10. Should be easy. That's really easy. PE ratio is easy. Earnings per share is easy. I don't do earnings per share on this, I don't think, because it's too easy. Let's give a challenge. So here we go. A company's trailing EPS, which is before, is 6. and the stock is trading at 84. So we do 84 divided by 6. However, analysts expect the EPS to increase to 7. What is a forward PE ratio? So we're looking at what's going to be in the future. So then we're just going to do 84 divided by 7. It's a 12, letter C. Easy stuff, okay? Remember that. If they say forward, it's what's going to be in the future. Trailing is what it was. Easy stuff. Let's try another one. A company's stock is trading at 120 and its earnings per share is 10. If the stock drops to 100, what's the new PE ratio? Super easy. 100 divided by 10. 100 divided by 10. $10. And a little bonus here, if they give you this question and they say, oh, there's a stock split, does not affect. Okay, remember that. Stock splits and stock dividends do not affect PE ratio, because if we did a 2-for-1 here and it was at 100, the stock would drop to 50 and the earnings per share drop to 5, it's still 10-1. Doesn't change. Stock dividends will and preferreds will affect the price, and the earnings per share will not affect the PE ratio. It's a little twist. A company's PE ratio is 20 and its stock price is 80. So we have to figure out what's the earnings per share. How do we do this? Okay, because it's reversed. Before we got the EPS and the market price. Now we have to do it this way. So it's just replacement. We're going to do 80 divided by 20. That's a $4 earnings per share. And you can double check by doing 80 divided by 4. You should get 20. It's just reversing it out. A little twist, nothing more. Company, this again, it's all easy stuff, just hidden in words. A company has an earnings per share of 6 and a stock price of 72. The average PE ratio for its industry is 14. Is this above or below the average? We just got to do the math and make it look harder. 72 divided by 6 is 12. So it's below average. So its PE ratio is below average, so it's undervalued. Okay. This is another one. Again, it's not that hard. You just couched in words. Stock A's price is stuck at 60 and earnings per share 4. B is at 50 and its earnings per share 2. You just got to do them both. 60 divided by 4. A is going to be 60 divided by 4. 60 divided by 4. That gives me a 15. And then we're going to do 50 for B divided by 2. That gives me a 25. So B has the higher PE ratio. There it is. C is in Charlie. A stock is trading 100. The analysts project the company's EPS for the next year to be 10. What's the forward? 100 divided by 10 again. 100 divided by 10 equals 10. P ratio 10. Undervalued. Super easy. And now we're on to POP. Okay, here we go. POP, baby. Now I have a couple basic ones. I think I made 20 of them. I don't think we're going to go through all 20. I think I'm going to go through like 10, and then we'll get into the scenario ones of the POP and the NAV. I have a lot of mutual fund stuff on this one, just because, people get confused by it. Okay, let's start with the first one. What is the POP if the NAV is 10 and the sales charge is 4%? So remember, the sales charge is out of the POP. So I'm going to explain the first one, then we're going to go right through. If the POP, what is a POP if the NAV is 10 and the sales charge is 4? So again, the sales charge is out of the POP, not the NAV. So you have to figure out what the NAV, what the NAV is 96% of, because it's 4%. So you're going to do 100. I'll write it down on this one. You're going to do first 100 minus the 4, and that equals 96. So it's going to be 96%. So all you're going to do is do 10 divided by 96%. Now, to make it easy, that's really going to be 0.96. 10 divided by 0.96. That's all you got to do. So let's do it, baby. Okay. 10 divided by 0.96 is 1041. And I'm going to round it up to 1042. So the answer is A. Easy stuff once you get the hang of it. Okay, here we go. The next one, the POP, if the NAV is 12. Remember, guys, it's easy if you press pause. So you have to hear my rambling, figure it out yourself, and then see if we confer. Okay, concur. The NAV is 12 and the sales charge is 5%. So again, 100 minus 5%. That leaves me 95%. So I'm going to do 12 divided by 0.95. That gives me 1263. And there it is, B as in boy. Super duper duper easy. Muscle memory, baby. Do it till you can't get it wrong. What is the POP if the NAV is 15 and the sales charge is 6? You're going to do 15 divided by 100 minus 6 is 94.94. Gives me 15.96. It's really 957, but I rounded up to 96. What is the POP if the NAV is 8 and the sales charge is 3%? 100 minus 3 is 97%. 8 divided by 0.97 is 8.247, which is 8.25. On to the next one. See, easy, cheesy, multi-squeezy. What is the POP if the NAV is 20 and the sales charge is 7? Again, 100 minus 7 is 93. 20 divided by 0.93 equals 2150. There's 2150 and a half, 2151. Not so bad. Number 6, we'll do 10 because these are easy, right? What is the POP if the NAV is 5 and the sales charge is 8.5%? We're going to do 5. Well, first of all, we do 100 minus 8.5. That's 0.9. That's 91.5, which is 0.915. That's also the max. Remember that? So if you see a number more than 9, it's not a thing. 5 divided by 0.915 is 5.46, and there it is, A. Not brain surgery, just muscle memory, baby. Okay, the POP, if the NAV is 18 and the sales charge is 4.5, I got to do the math on that. 100 minus 4.5 is 955, right? So we're going to do 18 divided by 0.955, 18.848, so it's really 18.84. There it is. I was screwed up. See, no, I'm not a numbers guy. 18. That's why I do these. I suck at fucking numbers. So literally, I am the worst. I mean, if I do 13 minus 8, I got to do it with my fingers, okay? That's what she said. Now, we got number 8. We're going to do 100 minus 3.5. 100 minus 3.5 is 96.5. So we're going to do 25 divided by 0.965, 2590. There it is. Probably could have rounded it up, but 2590 works for me. Easy. 2 more, and then we go a little the curveballs. Again, I'm going to do 100. It's these hard numbers. I got to do 100 minus 5.5 is 945. I do 30 divided by 0.945. I think that's it. 31.746, 31.75. That's my POP. Because again, the POP, the NAV is the sales charge is a percentage of the POP, not the NAV. Okay, last one, number 10, then we're going to jump. And if I'll scroll through, and if you guys want to practice yourself and then leave a comment on those questions, what your answers are, I'll answer. So 100 minus 6.5, 93.5. 7 divided by 0.935 is 7.486, which is 7.49. Okay, so I'm gonna roll through the next 10 really quickly. I think I left them there, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go to the next 11. You do these and leave it in the comments. That's 1. And that's 2. Come on, let's do them right. That's 3. And 4. I feel like we're doing aerobics. A 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. And okay. Shut up, Ken. There's number 5, which is really 15. There we go. 4 more easy ones. Just label them, say POP, number 17, 16, whatever it is. Throw it in the comments. Do a separate one for each one. I like it. Good job, guys. Way to go, kids. And then here we go. Boom. I love it. There we go. Now we're on to new ones. Okay, this is a little harder. An investor previously purchased 30 grand in a mutual fund. There's 30 grand in there, he or she. I'm not going to discriminate. Today they wish to invest an additional 25 grand, which puts them up to 55 grand. If the fund offers a break point at 50 grand, reducing the sales charge to 3%, and the NAV is 22, what is the POP for the new purchase? Again, all those extra words don't mean anything. 100 minus 3%. It's so fucking easy. 100 minus 3 is 97. So we're going to do 22 divided by 0.97 equals 2268, which is right there, which is B. Not bad. They throw extra words in there to screw you up. Now, what if they, and I think I'll do it later, but let's have a little fun here. What if they say, how many shares would he buy? Let's do it that way. So this is the way I do it. I do, okay, you're going to pay a 3% sales charge on, remember, we already have shares. So we're going to buy 25 grand. Actually, yeah, we're going to buy 25 grand. So we're going to do, there's the 25,000. Now, remember, if I pay a 3% sales charge, that means 97% of it is going into the funds. I'm going to do times 90. The other guys do it a different way. I think it's dumb. So I'm going to do 25,000 times 97%, which means I'm taking the 3% out. 25,000 times 0.97 equals 24,250. That's how much money I have left over to invest in the fund, and I just divide it by the NAV. That's going to be 1,102 shares. Okay, so I do that one. That gives me 24,250. Again, this isn't the problem, but I think I do it later too. And then I'm going to do 24,250 because that's all the sales charge taken out, divided by the new NAV, which is 22, which equals 1102. Good one. Let's see what the next one is. I wrote these so long, I don't remember them. Oh, here we go. Same thing. We're going to do 2 or 3 of these, and then we'll see if we can get some better ones. So again, I have all this shit doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. 3% sales charge. That's what we are. So we're going to do 25 divided by 0.97 equals 2577. Round it up. 2578. Boom. There you go. Here we go. So a little different now. If the NAV is, remember, I do a lot of POP NAV ones in this. I don't think it's the bulk of the test, but it's legit. How many pages do I have left? Where is it? 311 pages. 250 pages. Okay. The NAV is 15 and the POP is 1575. What's the sales charge percentage? So the first one I'll do with you. We're going to do, remember, it's ending value minus beginning value, right? POP minus NAV. So POP minus NAV, right? And you divide that by the POP. So 15, I'll do the first one on writing, 1575 minus 15, that equals 0.75 cents. And then we do 0.75 divided by POP because it's always out of the POP. That's going to be, what's the POP is 1575. Whatever that is, we're going to do it. 0.75 divided by 15.75 is 4.76, which I'll round up to 4.8. See, that's what I'm saying. We're doing it live, baby. So we're going to change this. This is the answer to the closest one. I'm going to change that to 4.76. Get that out of there. You're helping me out, people. Good. There you go. Let me just make sure I did it right, right? 0.75 divided by 15.75. 4.76. There it is. Okay. Now, I may have a couple of these, but you can help me out. Thanks for the correction, guys. Let's go to the next one. The NAV is 1020. The POP is 1070. So I subtract them. That's 50 cents divided by the POP. 0.5 divided by 10.70 is 4.67. There it is. B. I got that one right. Good stuff. So again, it's 1070 minus 1020, which is 50 cents divided by the POP, and that gives me 4.6%. Easy stuff. We'll do 10 of these. Again, 26 minus 25 is 1. 1 divided by 26. 1 divided by 26. 3.846. That rounds up to this. I love it. See, it's not that hard. None of this shit is super hard. Okay, 1875 minus 18 is 75 cents divided by 1875. 0.75 divided by 18.75 is 4%. A B. There you go. $10 minus 950 is 50 cents divided by 10. 5%. Okay. I think I have a lot of B's. I'm going to double check to make sure I didn't do that. So I'll be back in 30 seconds. 30 seconds starts. Okay, so it wasn't as bad as I thought, but it's there. So now, I think I did 5. I just finished with 5. I don't know. I have no memory. So I'm going to go right to this one. So number 6. NAV is 13. The POP is 1350. The sales charge is 50 cents. We're going to divide it by 1350. 50 divided by 1350 is 3.7. A. The POP is 21. The NAV is 20. So it's 1 divided by 21 equals 4.76, which is D. There you go. Next one. POP is 31.50. NAV is 30. That's going to give me $1.50. 1.5 divided by 31.5 is 4.76. Sounds familiar? I guess I like that number. 1675 POP, 16 NAV, that's 0.75, divided by 16.75 is 4.47, and that's letter C. Okay, last one I'm going to do. So 1180 minus 1120 is 60 cents, divided by 1180 is 5.08, and we're going to round that up to 5.1. Because it's 5.84, I'm going to say it's 5.1. It's really 5.09, but 5.1 works. There we go. Now I'm going to do the next 10. You're going to do them on your own, and you're going to put it in the comments. Do one for each comment. Number 11. Do, 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 do. Number 12. Number 13. Number 14. Remember, just press pause. I'm not going fast. Number 15. Number 16. Number 17. I'm even bored of saying this, but that's good. Get bored of this. Number 18. Number 19. And number 20. I'm going to try to do this with all the problems where I do the first 10 and then you do the first 10. I think that's a good way to make this work. So it's kind of push you on training wheels and then I kick you out down the hill. 3 out of the nest. Okay. Jumping on to new types. Okay, here we go. A mutual fund has a sales charge of 5% and a POP of 21. What the hell am I supposed to do? So remember, the sales charge comes out of the POP. So I'm just going to subtract the 5% from the POP. There are 2 ways to do it. You can do 21 times 5% and subtract. You can do that. I can do that. I'll show you it works both ways. I don't like this way because I'm lazy. 21 times 0.05 because that's what a percent is. I'm going to do 21 times 0.05. That's 105. And subtract that from 21. And I get 1995. There it is. That's one way to do it. I like doing this way. I know that 95%, it's, you're going to do, so taking away 5% leaves 95. So I just do 21 times 0.95. There's my 1995. Let's do a few of these. Because remember, it's 95% of, right? It's going to be 95% less. Did I do the same thing? Did I do it twice? Let's see. Look at that. That's an easy one. We're going to get rid of that. I'm an idiot. Ba 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 ba. Suffer with me. Oh, I see. I did write it down twice because look, there's number 2. Da 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 da. Okay. Number 2. We have a sales charge of 4%. So I'm going to do 25 times 0.96, which is 100 minus. That gives me 24. I'm on to the next question. Or I could do 4% of 25. 25 times 0.04. That gives me $1. Subtract it. There's my 24. Either way works. Mutual fund has a sales charge of 6%. POP of 30. 30 times 0.94 gives me 28.2. Ah, boom. There's A. Then we have this same one, 18. 100 minus 3 is 97. 18 times 0.97 equals 1746. Letter C. There it is. I was worried I did A too much. Here we go. Again, because the sales charge is out of the POP, this is easy once you get the roll of this. We're going to pay 4.5%, so we're bringing home 95.5. So we're going to do 50 times 0.955 gives me 47.75 B. Or you could do 50 times 0.045 and subtract that from the 50 gives me 47.70. It's the same. Mutual fund has a sales charge of 2%. That gives me 98%, right? So I'm going to do 40 times 0.98. Gives me 39.2. B as in boy. 15 times 100 minus 7 is 93 times 0.93 equals 1395. That's A as in avocado. Number 8, 22.5 times 0.96 gives me 2160. Boom, B. There we go. Next thing, same thing, 6.5%. That means we're bringing home to 0.93. So we're going to do 35 times 0.935 gives me 3272 and a half. Okay, when I get to the 10, I'm going to do it on your own. Yeah, I'm going to press pause to make sure it's not all A and B every time, because then that'd be cheating. It wouldn't be fair to you guys. Okay. Back to this. 10 times 100 minus 8 is 92 times 0.92 gives me 9.2. B. Okay, I think I'm going to do A and B, so I got to double check them. I'll be back. You won't even know I'm gone. And we're back. You bet you didn't miss me. You didn't even know I'm gone, but I got a different chart on. It's a different day. I don't think it's a different year. I think it's a different day. Okay. So we're going to, like I said, we'll do 10. Then I'll let you do a few on your own, and then we'll move on. And again, you're going to get bored of this. But again, what do we like? Muscle memory. Because this way you can never get it wrong. Do it so often, you never get it wrong. Not that you always get it right. Never get it wrong. There's a big difference between the two. So read it. Press pause, read it. I'm not going to say that every time. I'm expecting you to understand how to press pause. So we have 10 grand. We have an NAV of $50, and we have a sales charge of 5%. There's literally two ways to do this. I think my way is easier, but I'm only going to do my way after this one time. I'll do both, but we'll go from there. Now, what I do is this way. I'll show you my way, and then we'll go on. I do this. We get 10 grand, and we pay a 5% sales charge. So we're going to subtract 5%. So you're either going to do 10,000 times 5% and then subtract, or do the way I do and do times 0.95. I subtract it. I'm going to do it that way every time. But you can do your way. 10 times 0.95, that gives me 9,500. So that's how much I have that is available to invest in the fund. So then I just divide that by the NAV. 9,500 divided by 50. That's going to be 190 shares. That's A. So that's one way to do it. Okay. The other way, I got the hiccups now. That's awesome. Again, I'll show this like, so that's three ways really, but I can do this 10,000 times 5%, subtract that. That's going to be $500. Subtract that from the 10. Again, we're back to 9,500, not 96,500, 9,500, and then divide that by the 50 and you get 190. Now, the other way to do this, which I don't like as much, you do 50 divided by 0.95. Now, again, 100 minus the sales charge divided by 0.9. I don't just think it's as intuitive. That's going to equal what? What is that going to equal? We're going to do it ourselves. 50 divided by 0.95 equals 5263. I'll say that. And then we go 10 grand divided by 52.63. There's the 190. It's the same thing. I don't like that way. So this equals 52.63 and a bunch of fucking numbers. And you go 10 grand divided by that. That's fine to do. I just don't like doing it. I'm going to do it my way just to get used to it. Onward and upward. And again, like I said, I think I have 3 at the end that'll let you do on your own, and you just comment whether what your answers are. And remember, when you comment, write it out and say, this is what it was. Or come on my live on Tuesday nights and do it there. An investor wants to invest 55 grand in a mutual fund, NAV of 25, sale charge of 6. I'm assuming you press pause and read it. We're going to do the same thing. We have 5 grand. 5 grand. Now 100 minus 6 is 94. So we're going to do times 0.94 because that's really what it is. If you can do the 94%, that's great. Do 5 grand times 0.94 equals 4,700. Right? Equals 4,700. Hold on, my wife's texting at me. Okay, so at 5 grand times 0.94, that equals 4,700. Then you're going to do the 40. That's all you're doing is the 4,700 divided by the NAV. That's it. It's so easy. Because if I can get my calculator open, that'd be even easier. 4,700 divided by 25 equals 188, baby. B. That's all we're doing. It's super easy. Like not even brain surgery. Here we go. 8 grand. I'm paying a sales charge of 7%. Just pause, read it. So I'm going to do 8 grand times 0.93. Now remember, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm paying a sales charge of 7% that's coming out of my 8 grand. Whatever is left over is what I can invest in the fund. So it leaves me 74.40, and I divide that by the NAV. There's my 186, which is C. Super easy. We're going to do 7 more, and I think I have a couple of you to do on your own, but this is so easy. Again, 6,000, I have a sales charge of 4%. That's 96.96, right? I'm going to do 6,000 times 0.96 equals 57.60. Divide that by the 30, and boom, 192. That's D. We're doing well. We're cooking with gas. Okay, here we go. 9 grand. Sales 90, not 90. 9,000. Sales charge in 3. That's a 97%. 0.97 is 87.30 divided by the big old number of 45. 194. Letter A is an asshole. Okay, here we go. 6. 4,500 is my total. I'm moving quicker, so press pause when you see it. Times 0.92 is 4140. Divide that by the 20 equals 207C. So again, 4,500. I subtract the 8% by doing times 0.92. That gives me 4140. I divide that by the NAV, and I'm off to the races. 7,500. Now, 5.5, I got to do my head. 100 minus is 0.945 times 0.945 equals 7,087. Divide that by 35. 202 and a half. Boom, there it is. D as in dickhead. Okay, good. Okay, 4.5. So it's a little sort of the same, but a little bit different. 12 grand times 0.955 equals 11,460 divided by the big old 60 NAV. 191, that's a B. 2 more, I think. Okay. 11 grand times we're going to times 100 minus the sales charge. That's 8.5. That's 0.915. Times 10,065 divided by the double nickels. We got 183, and that's C. 183 is C. Good. Number 10. 3 grand. And I gotta do this shit in my head. 100 minus 6.5 is 93. So we're going to do 3,000 times 0.935 equals 2,805 divided by 15 is 187. A as in avocado. Okay. Now, that's the end of that. Now, what we're going to do is, I don't know if we've done this, but we're going to go through this. We're going to go back up, and we're going to find out what the POP is for each of these, just for the heck of it. Let's scratch back up. We'll do a couple of them. Start number 1. This is super easy. The NAV is 50. The sales charge is 5. So we do 50 divided by 100 minus the sales charge. 50 divided by 0.95. The POP is 52.63. It's not here in the choices. I'm just doing it for a little bonus time. I don't think we did it before, did we? Yeah, we did it, but we're going to do it anyway. Good practice, right? Here we go. Just in case you guys want to do it the other way. We're going to do 2 or 3 of these. 25 divided by 0.94, which is 100 minus 6. 26.59 is the POP. We'll do 1 more. 2 more. The NAV is 40. We're going to divide that by 100 minus 7, which is 0.93. That gives me 43.01 is my POP. Last one, babies. Because I think we've done it, but it's good to get the memory in. 4%, that's 96. So we're going to do, I almost did the 6,000. 30 divided by 0.96 equals 31.25, baby. That's the POP. Love it. Okay, good. That is outstanding. That is it. Now, the next one's going to be Cumulative Preferred. There we go. Scrolling back, scrolling. Cumulative Preferred. There's the first question. When you see me back, I'm going to be wearing a different shirt because I'm probably doing this after a lesson because it's 8:30 at night and I got a student, baby. I will see you all on the flip side. Well, you're not going to notice a difference. It's going to come back. I'm just going to look fatter, thinner, unshaved, different shirt, whatever. Okay. Adios. See you in a minute. Another day, another dollar. Here we go. And you just noticed at a blip, and it's almost like I just took my shirt off and the beard grew a little bit. I'll be shaving that soon. Okay, here we go. Press pause, read that shit, and then I'm going to work on it. I'm not going to read everything. You guys can read. If you can't read, you shouldn't be taking this test. Okay, so we own 5,000 shares. Remember, here's the big thing. You got to pay attention to the par value, right? Normally it's 100, but if it's not, you got to pay attention. So this isn't normally with a preferred. It's like, oh, $100 preferred par. It's 6% to be $6. But here you got to pay attention. Look, $50. $50 par value. So it's 6% of 50. So let's figure that out. 50 times 0.06 is $3. So that's $3 a year. Now, on these questions, remember, technically, they can say anything they want. They could say quarterly, semi-annual, monthly. Most of the time, it'll be quarterly, but just pay attention. I might have a couple questions in here that make you think. So it pays quarterly. So we have $3 a year. So quarterly, we're going to divide by 4. That means that's 75 cents a quarter. Now, look, we haven't paid in 6 years. They're not saying what you have to pay to get current, which would be, another $3 on top of that. They're saying, how much do I owe in back dividends? So I'm going to say it's 75 cents per quarter. I missed 6, multiply by 6, $4.50. That's per share times 5,000. 22,500. That's B as in boy. Now, again, pay attention, because if they say how much you have to pay, then you'd have to add 4 more quarters. So in case, if they say how much you have to pay the dividend in the future year, let's assume it's by the year. We miss 6, so we go, that's the 450 plus another 3 for this year. That'd be 750 times, for this people, 5,000. It'd be 37.5. But again, the answer is 22.5, because they're literally just saying, what do I owe in back dividends? And that's the way I'm seeing it on the test. So that's what I'm going to go with. Number 2, $100 par value this time. And look, it pays on a semi-annual basis. So I'm going to do 100 times 0.07. It gives me a whopping 7. Now, it pays semi-annual. I'm just doing it to try different math things at you. Divided by 2, that's $350 per payment, times 3 dividend payments, times 3 is going to be $10.50 times the shares. 33.6, boom, C. C as in COVID. Okay, good. We'll go this again. No, it's $25 par value paid quarterly. Good. So it's 25 times 0.08 equals $2. I divide it by 4 just to get it what it is per quarter. Remember, I'm dividing all of them by how many times they pay per year to find out what it is each quarter. So, oh, look, this would have been easy because I missed the last quarter 4. So it's going to bring it back to where it was. So I'm back to 2 times 1,500. $3,000 my number. D. So again, you're trying to find out what the annual dividend is divided by the quarters, so then you can go. And yes, they could do by years. It's easy, right? So if they say, oh, they missed 3 years, you just multiply that $2, which is 8% of 25, times 3. It's easy stuff. I'm just showing I'm trying to do the harder problems, not the easier ones. Okay. Number 4, see, this is super easy. 25 times 0.055. That gives me $1.37.5 per year. Now, look, they're paid annually. Tricky. They've missed the past 3 years. So I'm going to just multiply by 3 because that's how many we have. 4.125 times 6,000 is 24,750. So just so you know, in case you're all annoyed that I'm not writing this shit down, I'm not going to keep doing it, but I'll do it on this one. 25 times 0.055, which is the 5.5% dividend, that's going to equal 4.125. That's per year. Now it's annually, so that's the full 3 of those. 3 times that is going to be, oh no, what'd I do? I jumped the gun. Hold on. Let's do this again. Scratch that, reverse it. 25 times 0.055 is $1.37. That's what it is. So it's $1.37 per year. See, I'm an idiot. $1.37 per year, which is 25 times 0.055, because that's 5.5%. Now it's annually, so that's what I'm doing. 3 times that times 3 equals, I think that's the 4.5 times 3. 4.125, 4.125. That's what it is per year for the 3 years, times 6,000 is 24,750, and that's A. I may do the math on the rest of them. Let's see. So we have $50 par value. So we're going to do 50 times 0.04 equals, I don't know what that means. I probably should be able to do that, but I'm not going to. I'm never going to do math in my head. That's going to be 2. So that's $2 per year, pays semi-annual. 2 divided by 2, yes, we're doing that. It's going to be $1 per payment times 4, right? So it's 2 divided by 1. 2 divided by 2 payments equals 1. Since we missed 4 payments, 1 times 4, yes, don't do it in your head, equals 4. And then I'm going to multiply that times 2,500. And again, I will not do this in my head. Boom, 10 grand. Boom, there's our answer C. Okay. This isn't brain surgery, but we're going to do it till we can't get it wrong. So bored, so bored. Okay. 25 times 6.5.065 equals $1.62.5. Okay. Now that's quarterly. So we're going to divide that by 4. That gives us 40 cents. 40.65, really. Okay. That's what we get per quarter. And then we missed 8 of them. So that's going to be $3.25 times 4,800. 15.6, boom, there it is, B. So again, remember, we're finding out what the dividend is. We're trying to find out how much we missed, right? So we have to divide by 4 to find out what each quarter is or which payment is, and then we multiply it times the ones we missed, and then times the shares. Super easy. Here we go. It's going to be $100 par value, 100 times 0.075 equals, obviously, calculator 7.5. Now, it pays annual, so that's easy. I don't have to divide by anything because that's the annual. And I missed for 2 years, so I'm going to do 7.5 times 2, which equals, click, 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 15. And then we do 15 times 3,500. That's the shares. 52.5, letter C. C is in corn on the cob. Okay. Here we go. Keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Okay. This one is $50 paid semi-annually. $50. I'm trying to do a lot of moving parts times 0.05. The whole point is if I do these that are crazy, you'll be easy. You won't have a problem with when the easier ones come up. Times 0.05 equals 2.5 a year. So that's going to pay $2.50 per year. Now, it pays semi-annual, divide by 2. Divide by 2 is 1.25 because I will not do this in my head. That's how much each quarter is. We miss each payment is. Now we missed 6 of them. So 1.25 times 6 equals 7.5. That's the 6 payments times 10,000. Should be 75 grand, but I'm going to have a check. I don't like to take chances. 75,000 A. Super easy, super duper easy. Number 9. It's quarterly and $50. $50 times 0.085 equals 4.25. That's my annual. My annual is 4.25. Divide that by 4 equals 1.0625. Okay. That's how much it is per quarter. I've missed 9 quarters. That's a trouble. Times 9. That's going to be $9. 9.5625. Then multiply that times 7,500. 71,718 B as the boy. Now remember, I know they're all cumulative, but make sure you read the word cumulative, because if it doesn't have cumulative, you don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall for that trick. I don't think they'll do that. The vendors might do that. For the most part, they'll probably say it's cumulative or not. They might, if they don't put it there, they'll say non-cumulative, I think, just to make sure they're not totally screwing you. Okay. Here we go. Let's do it. So it's $25 in semi-annual. So 25 times 0.09 equals $2.25. That's per year. Since it's semi-annual, I'm going to divide by 2. By 2 equals 1.125. That's what it is per payment. I missed 2. So obviously that's funny. 125 times 2 is going to should equal 2.25. So that's how much I owe. So basically owe 1 year. I missed 1 year. I'm going to times 9,000, right? 9,200. Don't listen to Ken. Do your own math. 20,700. C as in Charlie. Not too shabby. I think we got this down. Now I'm going to do 3. You're going to do 3. You do this one. Throw the answer in my live on Tuesday nights. Do this one. Throw the answer in my live on Tuesday nights, or leave it in the comments. And usually you'll have somebody answering it right, and then you'll see the answers. So don't look in the comments now. And then here, do this one. Boom. Do those on your own and throw them in the comments. I know you can do them by yourself. Okay. After tax return. Okay. Should be a bunch of different ones like numbers and percentages. Okay. So after tax return is literally, it's just your return times 100 minus tax bracket. That's all you're doing. Okay? Return times 100 minus a tax bracket. If you do math, you're probably like parentheses are fucked up, but whatever. So that's what you're going to do. That's all you're doing. Now, if they give you dollars, then you have to then divide that number, call it X, divided by the original. We're done. Okay. So if they just give you percentage, it's one step like this one. They give you percentage, just do that. If they give you dollars, you got to do one more step to find out what you're actually returning. So let's do it. So we earn 6, 100 minus, let me do it. I'm going to do it on everyone because I'm lazy. 100 minus 28 equals 72 last I checked. So you're going to do 6 times 0.72 equals 4.32. There it is, A. Pretty straightforward. Here's the, and then we'll do, and there's no interest. So this is done just what's after tax interest, right? So you're going to do 2,000 times 100 minus 25 is 75 times 0.75 equals 1,500. Boom. Now let's say, this is just for the fun of it. Let's say we invested 9,000. What we do then we would do the 1,500 divided by 9,000 equals 16.6% after. So we would do 2,000 times 0.75, because that's 100 minus the tax bracket, equals 1,500. And then that is our answer A. And then we would do 1,500 divided by the original 9. Okay. Equals, okay, 16.66. So I'm not going to do the extra steps on this because we got it. But if they do the numbers, I'll pretend we put something in. So let's say we have a 10% return and we have a 35% bracket. So 100 minus 35 is 65. So we can do 10 times 0.65 should equal 6.5%. Yeah, that's it. That's your after tax return. If they do the numbers, it's easy. Go to the next one. 4. Okay, here we go. So we're going to do, we earned $5,000. 5,000 times, now 100 minus 22. I got to do that. I don't want to do it in my head because you could easily make stupid mistakes. Minus 22, you can think it's 88 versus 78 versus 68. So they're going to be times 0.78. 5,000, right? Times 0.78. It's 3,900. And there it is. Now, they'll tell you, now here's the thing. They'll tell you if it's long-term or short-term. If they don't say long-term, assume that it's short-term. That's the best way. But 9 times out of 10, they'll say long-term or short-term or whatever it is. I didn't. Now, let's say we invested 14 grand. Now, my number is 3,900, right? So I have 3,900. That's what we have after tax. I'm going to divide that by the 14,000. 27.8% after tax return. Not hard, not hard. Another one. We earned 4%. 100 minus 15 is 85. So we're going to do 4 times 0.85, and that's going to give us 3.4% C. It's not that hard. The percentage ones are easy. It's one step. It's when you have a number that's a little harder. So again, we earned 12. I didn't write the last one, but I'll do this. 12 times 100 minus 30 is times 0.7. 70 equals 12 times 0.7 equals 8.4% after tax return. Not super duper hard. Number 7, here we got a dollar amount. Okay. So we earned 1,500 times 100 minus 32. You got to do it. 100 minus 32 is 68. You do times 0.68. You're going to do 1,500 times 0.68 equals. Some of you guys can do that in your head. I can't. Don't do it though. That's 1,020. That's good stuff. Now, let's say I invest 4,000. I'm going to do 1,020. I'm making numbers up. 1,020 divided by 4,000. And what is that? Somewhere around a little over 25%. 25.5. So your after-tax return in this is 25.5. Again, they didn't ask that number. I'm just going a little deeper dive. Good. Again, we earned 5%. 5 times 100 minus 20, which is 80%, which I think I know what this is going to be, but I'm still going to do the math. 5 times 8 is 4. So our after-tax return is 4%. Nothing crazy. Number 9, here we go. So invest 10 grand times 100 minus 24, that's 0.76 equals 7,600. And let's say I invested, and that's the answer B, but let's say I invested 35,000, just doing weird numbers. So I made 7,600. I'm going to do 7,600 divided by 35,000 equals. And guys, if you can catch me with a mistake, you get a bonus of just making me look like an idiot. That's 21.71% after tax return. See, this isn't all that hard, right? I mean, you just practice and practice and practice. Here we go. Love when I can't spell. Oh, there you go. 18%. You see, I put the little reminders so that I know that I gotta let you do the extra on your own. So I'm gonna do earn 3 grand. Let's do it, baby. 3 grand times, okay, 100 minus 18. 100 minus 18 equals 82%, right? So that means you're bringing home 82% of your money. Not half bad. I'd love to be in that situation. 3 grand times 0.82 equals 2460. And there's A. And then what are we going to do? Let's make up a number. Let's say we invested 13,000. So we're going to do 13 grand. We're going to do 2460 divided by 13 grand. Put it up there, make it clean. Do 2460 divided by 13 grand. 18.92%. So we got the A, but then I'm going to add it in. It's 18.92%. 18.92% after tax return. So understand what it's doing. They're saying, in case I didn't explain this, you should know this. They're saying, oh, you returned 3 grand, but you got to pay taxes on it. So what's your actual after tax return? Because that's a better gauge of where you are. So like, that's why maybe you compare this to a muni and say, oh, I would earn more with a muni than this, something like that. So your after tax is literally what your return is after you pay your taxes and divided by original. Okay, let's do some on our own. Number 11. Number 12. And I want you to say, let's say, and you invested 40K. So do the first one, get the number, and then divide that by 40K and get your number, put it in the comments. And 15, 33%. What do? Do it on your own. Put it in the comments or bring it on the live, either one. Okay. Ooh, we're going to do more. We got a bunch to do on your own. Okay, maybe 5 of them. So 40% earns 4 grand. Again, you do this, and let's say You invested 11,000. Quite a return on there. So an $11,000 return. Put in the comment the number I use so I can see it and I can do the math because I'm trying to get. But there we go. So when you get it the number and then divide that by 11 grand. Good. It should be one more. That's it, right? Yeah. Okay, so do this one, 20% bracket, 7% return. You know what to do. Leave it in the comments. We'll go from there. I love it, people. This is super easy. Okay, so now, real rate of return. Remember, a real rate of return is what you're actually returning. So just remember it's your return minus inflation or CPI. If they use it. Okay? Okay. So let's do it. I'm going to delete this, but you got it. Okay. So I'm going to do $500 divided by 10 grand, right? Because that's how I get the return, equals 5% minus 3%. So it's going to be this. Let's do it. 500 divided by 10,000 equals 5%. Then I just subtract the inflation. 5% minus 3% equals 2%. That's my after tax. That's my real rate of return, not my after tax. That's my real rate of return because it's saying, oh, I earned 5%, but inflation was 2, so I really only earned, inflation was 3, so I really only earned 2. It would go either way. Okay. So I'm going to do 2,000 divided by 40,000 was, again, 5%. I love that number, I guess. Hold on. 2 grand earning divided by original. That's how he was getting returned. Equal 5%. Then you subtract the 2. 5 minus 2 equals 3%. Boom. Real rate of return is 3%. So again, you earned 5%, but inflation was 2. So you only earned 3. Okay, here we go. 1,500 divided by 25,000 equals 6%. So I'll write it out. I'm not going to do all of them this way. 1,500 divided by 25,000 equals 6%. Inflation is 4. 6 minus 4 equals 2%. That's my real rate of return. That's letter B. $3,000 divided by 50,000. Oh, 6% again. I seem to use the same numbers all the time. Maybe I like that return. 3 grand divided by 50,000 equals 6%. 6 minus inflation is 3 equals 3%. Real rate of return. A boom. C. Not hard. Let's do this. 4,000 divided by 80,000 equals 5%. Ooh, inflation was 5. Uh-oh. 5 minus 5 is 0. So your real rate of return is actually 0. So if I earn less than 5% in this situation, I'd actually have a negative real return, which means I'm actually worse off. Keep that in mind. So I have a negative, I have a 0 real rate of return, which means I didn't do better or worse than inflation. Stayed the same. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to write it down. I'm going to do 600 divided by, I want to get through all of them. 600 divided by 12,000 is 5%. That'll write down. 5% minus the 3 equals 2%. Boom, that's a real rate of return. This is not brain surgery. But again, you want to practice it till you can't get it wrong. 1,200 divided by 15,000 equals 8% minus the 4 is 4%. C is in Charlie. Boom. Not bad. 5,000. Always do the math, even though I'm not writing it down. Do it in your head. Don't do it in your head. Is 5%, 5,000 divided by 100 grand is 5%, even though you probably could have maybe figured that out. Then you just subtract the inflation. That's 3. 5 minus 3 is 5 minus 2. Sorry, 5. I'm looking at the answer. 5 minus 2 is 3%. The answer is C. 2,500 divided by 50 grand equals 5%. Again, 5 minus 3 is 2. The answer is D. Everyone loves the D. Okay. Number 10, 2 grand divided by 25,000. Never ballpark that shit. Is 8% minus the 5. 8 minus 5 is 3%. The answer is B. There you go. Nothing crazy. Okay. This is just another type, okay? Your nominal return is 8. Your inflation is 3. We know this. 8 minus 3 is 5%. Not hard. These are easy ones. Nominal rate of 10. Inflation is 4. 10 minus 4 is 6. D. I just wanted to get muscle memory so you don't even have to think about this. Return is 6. Inflation is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. Boom. D. Nominal is 7. Nominal means coupon. It's what you earn, right? Inflation is 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. Boom. We want muscle memory. We want this stuff to be so stuck in your head. Nominal is 5. Inflation is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3. Boom. C. If we go too fast, go back and do it over again. Nominal is 12. 12 minus inflation. 5. 12 minus 5, 7. C. Boom. A lot of C's. 9 minus 4. Return is 9. Inflation is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. C. 8. 14 is nominal return. Inflation is 6. 14 minus 6 is 8. Boom. D. Not C this time, right? D, baby. Good. Everyone needs the D. 9. 11 is your turn. Inflation is 5. 11 minus 5 is 6. It should be this easy for you. Nominal is 4. Inflation is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. Boom. B. There we go. Okay. Now, yeah, you don't hear me fucking talk. Hold on. Okay, we're back. Now, I'm doing expected return based on the CAPM, all this shit. So it's going to be using beta. But here's the deal. Normally on the test, they won't use the risk-free rate of return, but I kind of want you ready for in case they do. But again, if they don't, you just don't do that risk-free rate of return part. So literally, beta is a multiplier. So 1.2, normally you would do 1.2 times the 10%. Done, okay? And then that's your expected return. Here, I'm using the risk-free rate. So what you do is you subtract, and I'm going to do it, you subtract the risk-free rate from the return, multiply the beta, and then add it back in. So what you're really doing is doing the beta on the risk premium. And remember, risk-free rate is like T-bills, right? So the risk premium is your return above the risk-free rate. So in this case, it'll be 8%. So you do 1.2 times 8% and then add the 2 back in after, because you got to add it in, because the CAPM says you do. So let's do this. So now let's start with the first one. We have 10%. Remember, you got to do it on your own. Times, well, first we do 10% minus 2%. That equals, what does it do? 8%. Then we're going to do 8%. 8 times 1.2, okay? And do 8 times 1.2 equals 9.6. And then add, that equals 9.6%. And then you have to add the risk-free rate of return back in. That equals 11.6. There it is, B. Boom. That's it. It's not super difficult, okay? It sounds worse than it is, but it's not so bad. Just keep in your head, beta is a multiplier. Beta is a multiplier. Beta over 1, my market, it moves more than the market. Beta under 1, it's conservative. It moves less than the market, okay? And again, if you didn't do the risk-free rate of return, you would just do 10 times 1.2 and get like 12%. Okay. Onward. Okay. Again, here we go. You read it. 12 minus the 3 equals 9. 9 times 0.8, that's all you're doing, equals 7.2. It should be equal 7.2. 7.2. Then the 7.2 plus the risk-free rate of return back in equals 10.2. And there we are. letter C. It's super easy. Don't fuck this up. And if this was the non-risk, you do 12 times 0.8 equals 9.6. Okay, that's all you would do. If it was a non-risk free rate of return thing. But I'm going to do it. So we have 8 minus 2 equals 6. 6 times 1.5 equals 6 times 1.5 equals 9. Hey, come on. Get the right number. 9. And we add the 2 back in. Plus 2 is 11. D. Super duper easy. Let's hold on. I'm going to see how many I have. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, good. Okay. So I'm going to do 8 of them. I think I just did 4, right? I think I'm going to do 8 of them, and then you're going to do the last 2 on your own. Just did 3. So we're going to do number 4. 14 minus, this is an easy one, minus 4 equals 10. 10 times 0.9 equals 9. 9 plus 4 equals 13. Boom, ba, ba, boom, ba, boom. Boom, shakalaka, boom. And if it was you do 14 times 0.9, it'd be like taking off 1.4, whatever. That'd be 12.6. Okay. Number 5, Cinco de Mayo, Cinco de Pino. It's going to do 15. 15 minus, hey, Jesus Christ, idiot. Minus 3 equals 12, right? That does, right? Okay. 12 times 1.3. I got to do it on the handy dandy calculator. 12 times 3 equals 15.6. And then I add the 3 back in. 15.6 equals plus 3 equals 18.6. I'm sure you're ahead of me with that one. Okay. Now let's say, I'm throwing in there, let's say our actual return, let's just say our actual return was 20.6. I'm making easy numbers. So that's our actual return, right? Not what we're expected. We're expected 18.6. We actually did 20.6. How much better do we do? 2. That's 2 alpha, baby. Alpha dog. So we did 2 extra. That's alpha. We created management. Now, we created a value there. Now, whenever they say what if a management leaves or you want to change alpha, so alpha is like your talent. So one of the bigger things that if to change managers is you lose the alpha, the ability to outperform what you're expected to do. And that's what they say. Also, what's the biggest changer of alpha? Change of management. Like if you have a firm and the CEO leaves, well, the alpha may go, right? CEO gets shot, whatever it is, the alpha is going to change. They're not going to do much better. Or are they going to do way better or less better? I don't know. I mean, is that even English? I have no idea. But changing management changes the alpha because alpha is about the talent. How much better you do than expected. Okay, 6. 11 minus 2 equals 9. 9 times 0.7 equals 6.3. It should, based on the rules of nines. And then 6.3. Add back in the 2. 2. The plus and the equal are the same sign. That's the same button. That's 8.3, and that would be letter C, baby. I love it. That's awesome. Good. Next, onward and upward, number 7. See, we're getting bored already, right? 9 minus 1. That's good. You get bored. You know it. 9 minus 1 equals what? Of course, 8. 8 times 1.1, which is the beta, equals probably 9.9. But let me double check. 8 times 1.1 equals 8.8. I'm way wrong. See, that's why I use a calculator for everything. That's mine. And then I add 8.8 plus the 1 equals 9.8. There you go. Expected return is 9.8. Okay, one more, and then you're going to do your own. Ready to take the training wheels off, right? Never a big fan of training wheels. Taught my kids to ride their bike by just, you told them you push them And you say, whatever way your bike's leaning, turn the tire that way and you keep pedaling. Never stop pedaling. Pedal, 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 pedal. That's what we're doing. Paddling like a motherfucker. Okay. 13 minus 3. That's fucking easy. Equals 10. 10 times 0.5 equals 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. Beta expected rate 8. And let's say our actual was 12. We have 4. 8 is our expected return. 12 is our actual. The extra is 4. Alpha is 4. Okay. You're going to do 2 on your own here. 9 and 10. Here we go. Don't worry about it. You got this. Here's number 9. Do it. Type in the chat what your answer is, and we go from there. Then we go to number 10. Type in your answer in the chat, not in the chat, in the comments, and let me know. Okay. Dollar cost averaging. This is just a pain. It just takes work. Okay. Now, this is the formula. What you have to do is do this. It's a pain in it. I'm going to walk through it very slowly here. 1, you're paying 200 each time, right? Okay. So 200. How many times? 4 times. 200. Okay. 200 divided by 20, by 25, by 15, by 10. Okay. So 20, 25, 15, and 10. So you're putting $200 every month, and you're paying 20. So we just got to divide them up. 200 divided by 20 equals 10. 10 shares that one. 200. There's the only way to do it. Divided by 25 equals 8. 200 divided by 15 equals 1333. So we'll just 13 because we round down. And then 200 divided by 10 equals 20. So now we have 20. So that's what happens. Understand, dollar cost averaging is putting the same amount of money in every single time. Most of the time, they won't do the math. They just want you to know that you're going to buy a differing, like this, amount of shares each time. So this number right here is not a price. These are the prices, okay? This is how many shares you buy, okay? That's all it is. It's how many shares you buy. $200, $20 a share, 10. $200 at 25, 8. 200 at 15, 13. 200 at 10, a 20. So then we do 30. So we're going to add them up. 20 plus 13 plus 8 plus 10 equals 51. And there it is, letter C. That's all they're asking. Most of the time, they won't make you do the math. They'll just say, what does it mean? It's the great way to reduce timing risk. It gives you a lower cost per share than the average price, right? Because your cost is going to be lower. So let's do it here. Let's do the average price here. So I put at $800, right? Divided by how many shares? 800 divided by 51. 15.68 shares. 15 points. So my average price here, if they had to do it, is 15.68. Now, how did I do this? So all we're doing is taking all the money we put in, which is $800, and divided by the number of shares we bought, and that gives us an average price of 15.68. Okay, what is the average price per share paid by the investor? Again, this is super easy, right? Okay. 150, I do this, 150, 150, 150, just to keep it straight. Okay. Now, it's going to be 30, 20, 10. Okay, so 150 each week, 150 at 30, 150 at 20, 150 at 10. Now look, they asked for the price this time, right? So we got to do more than just the shares. So we have to do 150 divided by 30. Okay. Calculator, 50 divided by 30. That's 5 shares. 150, 20 equals 7.5 shares. We'll say 7. And then 150 divided by 10 equals 15. So that's 15 shares. So we bought a total of 15 plus 7 plus 5. That equals 27 shares. Okay. So that's 27 shares we bought. And then how much did we spend? 450 divided by 27 equals 16.66. Is it not taking? So that's our average price. There it is, B. Pretty easy. So I'll do it again. 153 times. There's our prices. There's the number of shares we bought. We add them up. That's 27. We divide it by the 450 divided by 27. There's our average cost. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, here we go. It's hard to run a business with 3 people working for you and do this at the same time because they all want to text me at 5 o'clock. Now, here we go. It's going to be how many times? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I was a mean person. So I'm going to do this. This is a hard one. I shouldn't have done this, but that's fine. So 30 plus 25 plus 20 plus 15 plus 10 plus 5. Those are the prices. I'm just going to do 300 each. So you should be doing this while we're talking. Don't just wait for me. So we're going to do 300 divided by, and never do it in your head. 300 divided by 30 equals 10. 10. 300 divided by 25 equals 12. 300 divided by 20 equals 15. 300 divided by 15 probably equals 20. It usually works that way. 300 divided by 10 equals 30. 300 divided by 5 equals 60. Ooh, I bought a lot at that 60. So all I'm doing is add them up. 10 plus 12 plus 10 plus 12 plus 15 plus 20 plus 30 plus 60. So that should be 147 shares. Now, if they ask the average price, so we know we have 147 shares, then we'll do how many weeks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 300, 6 times 300. 1,800 divided by 147 equals 1224. That'd be my price. 12.24. Now, look, it's a lot cheaper than if I did the other, because think about it. If I did it the other way where I just was buying, like, I'll tell you right now, 147, 6 is, if I was buying like 25 shares a week, I'd be spending a lot more money up on the top prices and less on the bottom. So since the lower the price goes, I buy more shares, even though I'm doing the same amount of money, I'm lowering my average cost. My average cost will be usually lower than the average price of the stock. So anyway, the answer is 147. The average price is 1220. Okay, here we go. C board, 500, 500, 500, 50, 40, 25. 500 divided by 50 is 10. I had a feeling, but I don't. Again, even if I think I know it, I don't. 500 divided by 40 equals 12.5. 500 divided by 25 is 20. Good. Love it. Okay, so now we have to do the average price because we have the shares, right? So we go 20 plus 12.5 plus 10 equals 42 and a half shares. And then we do 5 times 3, 1,500 divided by 42, 35.71. Because I'm rounding down. If you have 42 and a half shares, you're not getting half a share. That's just Schwab, but you're not really doing it. So we're going to go with 42 shares. So that's my average price. 1,500 divided by 42, right? 1,500 divided by 42 equals 35.71. There we go. That's my average price. Super duper easy. Number 5. Let's see how many I have. How many I'm going to let you do on your own. That's it. Oh, right offerings. Which one did we just do? We just did 4. Okay, so we're doing. I'm going to do 8, and then you do 2 on your own. Total number of shares. We're back to this again, right? So again, how many times? 250. 250. 250. 250. Then we do 25, 20, 15, and 10. Same thing. 25 divided by 20, 250 to 250 divided by 25 is 10. 250 divided by 20 equals 12 and a half. 250 divided by 15 equals 66, but I'm going to go 16 because you always round down. You can't have half a share. And then 250 divided by 10 is 25. There it is. Oh, so I got to change that too. See, I'm an idiot. It's not 12 and a half. It's 12. I'm going to do 10 plus 12 plus 16 plus 25. 63, and that's not there, so we round it up. I'm going to change this because, see, that's what I did. That's what I did right there. Hold on. So we're going to get 63. It's really 63 shares, but I rounded up because when I was doing it on my calculator, I'm going to change that right now so we all get to see the right answer. And boom, there we go. See, I can do that. I can change my own answers. Good. So 63 is the answer. Good, good, good. Good. I like the ones where they just ask the shares, a lot less work. Okay, so how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. 20, 15, 10, 5, 2. So I'm doing 100 divided by 20. Obviously, it's 5. 100 divided by 15 is 6. I know it says 667, but we're going to go with 6. Watch, my number will be off by 1 again. 100 divided by 10 equals 10. 100 divided by 5 equals 20. And 100 divided by 2 equals. Why I'd be buying a stock on the way down to 2, I don't know, but that would be something Ken would do. Okay. Then all we're doing is this. Add them up. 50 plus 20 plus 10 plus 6 plus 5. 91. There it is, 91. Oh, I did it right this time. So 91, letter A, baby, letter A. A as in a grade I never saw in high school. Okay, here we go. Here we go. For prices again, more work, but it's still pretty easy. I'll say do the same thing. 400, 400, 400, 400. So I know that's $1,600 there, right? I'll do that so help me later. Then I'll do a 40, a 35, a 30, and a 25. 40 divided by 40 is 10. 400, you mean? 400, Ken, you're an idiot. 400 divided by 35 equals 400 divided by 35 equals 11. 400 divided by 30 equals 13. Now, in real world, you'd probably use the extra shares on the next time, but we're not going there. And in reality, if you're working at Schwab or something, you can buy half shares divided by 25 equals 16. So we're going to add these puppies up. 10 plus 11 plus 13 plus 16 equals 50. Then you do 1,600. That's 50 shares, right? Then do easy. Do 1,600 divided by 50. 32. Boom, B. There it is. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, one more, and then you guys are going to do your own. Okay. How many times 3? Oh, it's an easy one. And again, 9 times out of 10, you won't even have the math. You just have to understand you put in the same amount of money every time. It's great for mutual funds because you get break points eventually. And since you're putting the same amount of money, you're going to get different shares each time, which I'm showing you. You're seeing that. 600, 600, 600, 60, 50, 40. Okay, I gotta know that one, right? 10. You're gonna get 10 shares. 600 divided by 50 is 12. 600 divided by 40 equals 15. Just add them up. 10 plus 12 plus 15. 37, baby. And there it is, letter C. Super easy. Now, if they want to do the price, what we're going to do is going to do 1,800, right? Divided by the 37. For that, 1,800 divided by 37 equals 48.64. Super easy stuff. Okay. Here we go. On you. Number 9. Let's pause. Look at it. I want average price, and you can get me shares too. Good. Put that in the comments. And then number 10, number of shares, baby. 50, 40, 30, 20. Stock's always going down. It's definitely like my portfolio. Okay. That's the 10, baby. Good stuff. And I'll be back. And we're back for another day of, same day for you, but different day for me, of burning math. Now, if anyone who knows me knows that I fucking hate math. I hate this. Like, this is like pulling teeth for me, doing these math. I hate them. But we got to do them. And they're not so bad. I just really hate doing math. So me doing hours of this is like, what if I had hair? I'd pull it all out. Now, the first two are going to be the hardest you'll probably ever see on preemptive right questions, which is what we're doing. Rights offerings, preemptive rights, same issue. But I'm going to do them, and then we're going to go on to other ones, more straightforward. But these are ones you may or may not have seen in the exam, some version of it, just so you can understand how it works. So everyone press pause or read it. Customer owns 2,000 shares of a company, XYZ. They have 20 million shares outstanding. They issue another 5, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So first thing we have to do is figure out how many shares extra we're going to get. Well, if they have 20 million outstanding and they issued 5, we're going to do 5 divided by 20 to get our ratio. So let's do that, how much they're issuing. Because remember, we're keeping our percentage ownership. So whatever the issuer issues, we do too. So we're going to do 5 divided by 20. That's 25%, 0.25. So we're going to increase ours by 25%. So we own 2,000 shares, 2,000 times 0.25. That gives us 500. That's the next step. What we own, 2,000 times 25% equals 500. So that means we're going to get 500 new shares. Remember, we get one right for every share we own. You may have to end in more than one right. Okay. Now, the next step. Let me keep moving. The next step is, what do we pay for it? So now we're buying 500 shares. So now we go, oh, wow, 15% below the closing price. So we got to figure out what that is. So there's a couple ways to do it. I'll show the long way. We can do 30 times 15%, which is, calculator, 30 times 0.15 equals $4.50. And then you subtract 30 minus 4.5 is 25.5. So that you're going to buy 500 shares at 25.5, and that's what it's going to cost you. Now, the way I do it, I really don't do the 15. I subtract it. So I go, okay, if I'm going to have, it's going to be 15% lower, it's 85%. So I would do 30 times 85%, and that's going to give me the same thing, 25.5. Pretty straightforward. So so we're going to buy 500 shares at 25.5, 500 times 25.5 equals 12,750. There's our answer, C. Again, this is way more complicated. You could get this on the exam. I'm not saying you won't, but I'm saying this is on the high end of difficulty. We'll show you the better ones. One more of these, just so we get a little muscle memory. So do the same thing. We have 8 million outstanding. We issue 1 million. So we're going to do 1 million. 1 mil divided by 8 mil, right? That's going to give us, what the hell is it going to give us? 1 divided by 8, 12.5%. So we are going to get, that's how much they issued. That's how much extra. So we're going to increase by 12.5%. So we have 500 shares. 500 times 0.125 equals 62.5. So, and I'm going to round down. They'll tell you a round up or down. I'm going to say round down. So we're going to get 62 shares. That's how many more shares we're going to get if we buy it. We have to pay for it. So what do we pay? 10% below 20. So I'm going to do it my way. 20 times 0.9%, 90%, 90%, not 0.9, equals 18. So I'm going to get 62 shares at 18, which equals 1116. Now, again, watch this again, slow it down, watch it multiple times, just so you have it. It's all the same stuff. It's just more complicated. They put a lot of steps into it. Again, you could have done 20 times 10%, get 2, subtract those from the 20, there's your 8. So again, first find out how much we issued, 1 million. Out of 8 million, that's 12.5%. That's how much they increased. That's how much we're going to increase. 500 plus 12.5% is 62 and change. I'm going to do 62 times the price of 10% below the closing, 18, and there we are. Boom. Onward and upward. Okay, now they should be a little bit easier. Okay. Well, can I fit it all on the screen? Can I fit it? That's what she said. Okay. Okay. Now, so at 5 million shares, plans to issue another 250. The corporate charter grants preemptive rights. The shareholder owning 500,000 shares of DEF stock, which is 10% owner, will receive how many rights? Okay. So first of all, you get 1 right for every share you own. Boom. That's easy. So we know it's not either one of these. You own 500,000 shares, you're going to get 500,000 rights. It has to be one of these two. Now, I would just do, I'm not going to do it this way, but if the numbers don't match, I'm not going to do it. So let's get into this. So we have 5 million. So we're going to do 250 divided by 5 million. You do write it all out because you got to do it that way. 250,000 divided by 5 million equals 0.05. So then I do the 500,000 times 0.05. That gives me 25 grand. Boom, there it is. So again, we issued 250 grand out of 5 million. That's 5%. So we know we're getting 500,000 rights because we get 1 right for every share we own, and we're going to get 5% more. 5% of 500 grand is 25 grand. That's how many new shares we get. Super duper easy. And don't worry, if you don't get it now, we will get it over the next couple of things. Now, let's do it this way. Again, I always do the number of shares issued divided by what's outstanding. So I get started. So 200,000 divided by 4 million, again, is 5%. Wow, I'm really original with this. 5%. So we're getting 5% more. Now, we have 80,000 shares. So we're going to do 80,000, which means 80,000 rights. And pay attention. They may go, how many rights do you get? You get 80,000 rights. But if they say how many shares, you got them up to 80,000 times 0.05, 4,000. Boom. Because 4,000 is 5% of 80 grand. Now, if I have a wrong number, I'll change it in here, but we're good to go so far. So again, goal is find out how much extra you're getting, and you're going to match it. Here we go. Can I get rid of this thing? I think I can. Nope, I can't. Oh, I did. Yee. Okay, so now, you probably don't even see the difference, but I got rid of one of the borders. So at 10 million, and we issue 1 million. We can get that, but I'm going to do it in my head. I'm going to not do it in my head. Divided by 10 million. That's 10.1 at 10%. So we're going to do 10. We're going to get 10% more. So let's write it over here so we have it. Okay, 10%. Now we own 1 million shares. We're big owners here. How many rights do they receive? So 1, we know we're getting 1 million rights. So it has to be C or D. Then I'm going to do 1 million times 10%. It's going to be 100,000 new shares. And where is it? 1 million rights. So it's either B, C, or D. Boom, I like that. And then we get, that's funny. See, it's all the numbers look the same. So it's either B or C. We get 1 million rights, and we're going to get 100,000 shares. Boom, letter B, because it's 10%. We're increasing our shit by 10%. Okay, let's keep going. 8 million shares. I think I know where that's going. So now let's go 400,000 divided by 8 million. Again, we're back at 5%, which is wonderful. Just way to be original, Ken. Okay. 5%. We have 400,000 shares. So we're going to get 400,000 rights. It has to be A or B. And then we multiply that times 5% equals, we do this, 400,000 times 5% equals 20,000. So we're going to get 400,000 rights and you get 20,000 new shares. Boom, boom, boom. So the answer is A. Moving on. Here we go. Again, I always do find out the percentage first. 300,000 shares divided by 6 million equals 5%. I am so fucking original. And then we have three. So we get 300,000 shares. That's 300,000 rights. We're going to multiply that times the 5%, 15 grand, and it's B. This is super easy. You should not have a problem with this. I really got it. I guess we're going to keep doing 5%, but it's fine because I'm an idiot. 150 grand divided by 3 million equals 5%. Yippee, we know that. Then we're going to do 150. So we know we get 150,000 rights, which is B or C, and then we're going to multiply that times 5% equals 150,000 rights times 5% equals 7,500. There it is. B as in boy. See, it's not super duper 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 hard. Okay. Number 7. Again, I really need to work on my numbers here. You know what? Let's have a little fun. I'm going to stop for a second. Okay, now we got strange numbers. This way it's not the same thing every time. You probably didn't notice it, but hey, it's a couple minutes later. Now, first I do 500,000 divided by 12 million. That gives me 0.416%. So 4.16%. So I'm going to put 4.16%. That's going to be how much we're issuing. Okay. Now, we know we have 200,000 shares. So we're going to have 200,000 rights. It's either B or C. So I'm going to do 200,000 times 0.0416 equals 833. There we go. So it's going to be B as in boy. There we go. That's all we're doing. B, 200,000 rights. And that's the great part. Once you know the rights, sometimes you can knock out half the answer. At least have a 50-50 shot, even if you're having a brain fart. Okay. Number 8. First thing I do, 400,000 divided by 9 million is 0.44444. So that's 4.44%. I'm going to leave it at that. It's a lot of zeros. So now we know we have 90,000 shares, so it has to either be B or C. And then we're going to do 90,000 times 0.444, 4.4% times 90,000 equals, let's do it this way. So we're going to do 90,000 times 0.044. It's 3960. What the hell? We have to fix that. Okay. Let's see. 4 million. 400,000 divided by 1 million. 0.4444. Okay, good. Now we do 90,000 times 0.0444 equals 39. So it's 44444. So it works out to be, I had to double check my numbers. Whenever you're wrong by a lot, like I had come up with 3920. So I obviously rounded too much. But I did this 44444. I bet you if I added another 4, if I did 90,000 times 0.044444, there's it's 4 grand. So it's going to be B. So I did 90,000 times 4.44%. And I'm if you're within 1 or 2 shares, because it's a rounding thing, you're fine. So the answer is B. There we go. See, you saw me struggle a little bit. I didn't panic. I went back. So I made a mistake. So I went back, rechecked my numbers, and then went right. That's the way I do it. I fucking hate math. But you got to do what you got to do. Okay, here we go. First thing we do, 475 divided by 7.5 million. I always want to put point, and that doesn't work. That's 0.63. That's 6.3%. Here, I just want to put it off to the side, and it's actually 6.3333. I'll put that just to get me going, but it doesn't really matter. So now I have 300,000 shares, 375,000 shares times 0.063333, and that's going to give me 23,749, which is basically 23,750. Oh, boom. There we go. Okay. Everyone do that yourself. Number 10, do it yourself and leave it in the chat, baby. I want to see what your answer is. And what I'll do is maybe I'll pin the answers. Maybe when people do it, I'll pin them, and then we'll go from there. Guys, everyone good. Now we're on to stock splits. Okay. This is the final part. Okay. We own 500 shares of ABC, which is now a 2-for-1 split. The price is 50. How many shares will the customer own after the split? And what will the new price be? Super easy. First thing you do, 2 divided by 1. Always divide the first by the second. Always do first by the second. 2 divided by 1 equals 2. That's my multiplier. I'm now going to do 2. So there's my 2. I'm going to multiply the shares times the shares and divide the price. So 2 times 500 is 1,000. 50 divided by 2 is 25. So it has to be A. Boom. Now, now understand if it's a forward split, it's always more shares worth less, right? So sometimes you can knock shit out. Like, look, more shares worth less. We had 500. Well, that's out because it's not more shares. And then it has to be worth less because this was 50. So that's out and that's out. Boom. Sometimes you don't have to do the math. I'd rather you do it, but if you're not sure, remember, forward split is more shares worth less. Okay. Okay, onward. Here we go. 3 for 2. What is the first thing I do? 3 divided by 2 equals 3 divided by 2 equals 1.5. So that's all I'm going to do. 1,000 times 1.5 equals 1,500. So it has to be either A, B, or C. It didn't help me too much. And then I'm going to do 30 divided by 1.5, and that gives me the 20. So it has to be A. So understand, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 1.5, multiply the shares, and then divide the price by the 1.5. Not by 150, not by 1,500, by the 1.5. And then I'm done. So the answer has to be A as an apple. Number 3, 5 for 4. 5 divided by 4. This is easy. 5 divided by 4. 5 divided by 4 equals 1.25. Should do it. Calculate. Then I'm going to do 1.25. 200 times 1.25 equals 250. Help me out with the right number. 250. And then so I know it has to be A, B, or C, which is great. And then I'm going to do 80. 80 divided by 1.25 equals 64. So it has to be A. 250 shares of 64. This is super easy, folks. This is like brain-numbingly easy. Okay. 4 for 3. 4 divided by 3 equals 1.33 times 600. 800. So it has to be A, B, or C. And then I'm going to do 60 divided by 1.33. That gives me 45 and change. A is an apple. And again, you can play the game. More shares worth less. It's going to work. Number 5, 3 for 1. 3 divided by 1 is tree. 3 times 1,200 is 3,600. Then I'm going to do 90 divided by 1.33. 67. What did I do wrong? Oh, I know what I did. See, I was so 90 divided by 3. There's 30. Duh, I'm an idiot. So it's A. 5 for 2. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5 times 800. 2,000. Then I'm going to take the 50 divided by 2.5 equals 20. Boom, A again. I think I have a lot of A's. Hopefully I didn't do that the whole way. Probably did because I'm an idiot. Yep, I did. So 400. So I'm going to do 10 divided by 1. 10 divided by 1 equals 10. 10 times 400 equals 4,000. Then I'm going to do 200 divided by 10 equals 20. So it's A. 1 second. Okay, let's try these. We're almost done with this thing, baby. Okay, here we go. 500 shares, 7 for 3. We're going to do 7 divided by 3. That gives me 2.33. When it's a weird number, I always like to write it down because I'll forget, right? 2.33. 2.33. Now I multiply that times the shares times 2.33. I do 2.33 times 500. That gives me 1165 or in change. So it's A, B, or C. And then I'm going to do 42 divided by 2.33. It gives me 18. Boom. So it should be C as in Charlie. 1166 at 18. Take a picture. So 3 for 2. 3 divided by 2. 1.5. 1.5. I'm going to do 1,500 times 1.5 equals 2250. So it's A, B, or C. And then we're going to do 60 divided by 1.5 equals 40. So there it is. So it's B as in boy. Easy stuff that you should be brain dead. But don't forget, don't give up because we're going to do the how we affects options next after this one. Okay. 8 divided by 5. These weird numbers I always got to write down because I will forget. That's going to be 1.6. It's weird to me. 1.6 times 300. 300 times 1.6 equals 480. So it's A, B, or C. That's A, B, C, or D. Then what do I do? I could have saved my time. And 80 divided by 6 equals 50. There it is, D as in David. So again, all I did was shares times price divided. Now, I think I got, do I have one more or did I delete this? Let's see. Oh, I do one more. Because I want to do reverse splits and options. So don't give up on me, baby. Okay, so now 2 divided by 3 equals 0.66666. To the devil, I guess. Hold on, 0.666. I'm going to do 0.667 just so I don't freak out. Now, I'm going to do 1,500 times 0.667 equals 1,000. So we're right there. It's a little off, but it's 1,000. Then we're going to do 18 divided by 0.667. And there's my 2698, which is 27. Boom, D. So again, it doesn't matter whether it's forward or reverse. You divide the first number by the second, and then you multiply that times the shares, and you divide the price by that. Do one more. I don't know if I have more than that. Let's see. I do. 1 for 4. So I'm going to do 1 divided by 4. 1 divided by 4 equals. Don't ever, even if you know it, don't do it in your goddamn head. So it's going to be 0.25. 1 divided by 4. I do 300 times 3,000 times 0.25. That's 750. And then I'm going to do 5 divided by 0.25. That equals 20. Boom. C as in Charlie. Wunderbar. Wunderbar. And we're into the options, baby. So now remember, there's 2 types of options, an even split, reverse, and uneven. Okay. So an even split is into like 2 to 1, 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 10 to 1, whatever, into 1. And if that happens, you do get more contracts, but they're worth less. If it's an uneven split, you still get the same number of contracts, but the shares go up. So like an uneven split, you have 100 shares per contract. So if you have a 1.5, right, say that's a 3.2, 3 for 2, you're going to get one contract worth 150 shares. So 100 shares times 150, and then you do the straight divided by 1.5. Hopefully we'll get to it. So 2 for 1, which means it's an even split. We're going to get the same amount. So 2 divided by 1 is 2. 2 times 1. So we know we're going to get 2 contracts. So it's probably going to work out here. And then we do 50 divided by 2, 25. So it has to be D. That's an easy one. Because it's an even split, you get more contracts worth less. Let's see if the next one is. 3 for 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Shit doesn't change. We love muscle memory. So remember, there's 100 shares per contract. So we're going to do 100 times 1.5. So that's going to be one contract. We don't add one contract worth 150 shares. So it's either A or C. Then we're going to do 60 divided by 1.5. And there's our 40. So it's A on this one, okay? Back to the A's. So one contract with 150 shares, 40 strike. Because it's an uneven split. If it was an even split, it would be different. It would be more contracts. Let's try another one. 4 for 1. That's an even split. 4 divided by 1 is 4. That's an easy one to remember. 4 times the contracts is 4 contracts. So it's either C or D. Then we're going to do 120 divided by 4. And that's 30. So the answer is C. You could have played the game too. It has to be worth less, right? Because it's a forward split. The only one worth less that has the 4 contracts is this. So either way, doing the math or the cheaty way, you're going to come up with the right answer. I love it. Okay. Number 4, 5 for 4. 5 divided by 4, 1.25. I'm going to write it down because I want to remember. I'm going to do 100 times 1.25. That equals 125 shares. So we know it's either A or B. Then we're going to do 80 divided by 1.25. That equals 64. Boom, there's A. Love it. 3 for 1 split, even split. 3 divided by 1 is 3. I can remember that. So look, it has to be A because there's only one there, but we're going to do it. A, we're going to do 3 contracts. We know that because it's 3 times 3 divided by 1 is 3 times the contracts is 3 contracts. But we're going to go through the muscle memory anyway. 90 divided by 3 is 30. Boom. It's A as an apple. Number 6. 6 for 5. 6 divided by 5 is 1.2. Let's write it down. You don't want to forget. Because what was it before? 1.2. Since it's an uneven split, it's a share. So we know it's 120 shares because 1.2 times 100. So it has to be C or D. And then you're going to do 50 divided by 1.2 equals 4166. And boom, there it is. Rounded up, letter D. Easy, cheesy, lemon squeezy. 2 for 1, that's an even split. 2 divided by 1 is a 2. Okay, so it means we're going to multiply that times the contracts. Ooh, too easy. 2 contracts for 100 shares each. That works. And then we're going to do 75 divided by 2. There's our 37. Easy stuff. Okay, let's do 3. I'm going to do one more, and then you're going to do 2 on your own. So 7 for 5. 7 divided by 5 is 1.4. So if you can't remember the even split, odd split, do the division. If it's a round number, it's fine. If it's not a round number, then you have to do the old play on the shares one. Okay, so now 1.4. So that means we have to change the shares. We're going to have one contract. That doesn't help us. Worth 140 shares. That helps us, B and C. Then we're going to do 70 divided by 1.4 equals 50. So boom, there it is. C as in Charlie. Okay. Number 9. I'll let you do that. Let's see. Is that a 4 for 3? And that's an even. Oh, they're both odd splits. Okay. So let's do this together. We're going to end strong. So 4 divided by 3 is going to be 1.25 on my books. 1.25. It's more shares. So since it's an uneven split, we're going to change the shares in there. So it's going to be one contract for, let's see, did I do it right? 4 divided by 3. Oh, see, that's why I use a goddamn calculator. You're probably screaming at me going, it's wrong. That's 1.33. That's why you got to use a calculator every time. Don't get cocky. So I'm going to do, because I saw the numbers, I'm like, oh, that's scary. So it's either going to be this or this, because it's 1.33 times 100. And then I'm going to do 120. 120 divided by 1.33 equals 90.22. Boom, there it is. I love it. One more, baby. One more, and we're done. Stick with me. Stick with me. 5 for 2 split. Don't do it in your head like I did before. 2.5. That's my multiplier. 2.5 multiplied times. Remember, since it's an uneven split, it's going to be one contract because they're only one contract. 5 for 2. That's 2.5. So it's going to be one contract for 250, which is either A or B. And then I'm going to do 50 divided by 2. I had to look up. But 2 more 5, there's 20. So letters B. Boom. Guys, thank you for sticking with me on this shit. Okay. It's a long haul. It's almost 2 hours. Maybe it's over. I don't know. Would I edit it down to be under 2? But literally between the Mathapalooza and the Burning Math, that should cover pretty much any math you're going to get. I showed you really hard questions. We did the NAV, the POP, all that stuff. It's awesome. Guys, don't forget to check me out on Instagram at Series 7 Whisper, TikTok Series 7 Whisper. Well, if you after the 19th of January, that may be gone, but whatever. And every Tuesday night and Thursday night on my live at 8 p.m. on YouTube. Remember, we switched it up a little bit to make it a little more attractive. FINRA stuff is on Tuesdays. NASA stuff is on Thursdays. So again, FINRA Tuesdays, NASA Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. Let's go. We got this.